out, so that's not very affected. But yeah, it's been very bad. Last week was crazy. Yesterday, another 3,000 plus cases. So yes, it's a bit out of control right now.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, but I think not just Italy, but also Spain and Switzerland.
Yes, yes,
We have
yes,
quite a few students flying back today.
yes, yes. I know that they want to go back to the family.
Yeah.
So I think that's okay as long as they can attend the online classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we start? Okay. So now we're gonna switch into our channel. I'll let you know once we switch into your Skype.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
Ready? Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Lời đầu tiên thì tôi xin thay mặt cho G Connect Hospitality Education, đại diện của tập đoàn Summit, rất là xin lỗi quý vị về cái sự cố sáng ngày hôm nay. Đáng lẽ chương trình của chúng ta thì sẽ được tổ chức, lúc đầu dự kiến là chúng ta sẽ tổ chức ở tại khách sạn. Nhưng mà chắc là quý vị cũng đã biết, các em cũng đã biết là cái dịch cúm nó không cho phép chúng ta làm chuyện đó, nên chúng ta quyết định là chúng ta sẽ làm qua cái kênh trực tuyến này. Tin tốt là đến thời điểm này, ngày hôm nay thì từ sáng giờ theo tôi biết là chúng ta chưa có thêm ca nhiễm dương tính nào mới. Hy vọng là ngày hôm nay sẽ là một ngày chủ nhật mà không có tin gì xấu, tức là con số nó sẽ không tăng lên. Chiều ngày hôm nay cái chương trình trực tuyến sẽ giới thiệu về Học viện Glion. Như các bạn cũng có thể thấy được cái logo qua cái kênh trực tuyến. Chúng ta sẽ có đại diện của tập đoàn của Học viện Glion sẽ chia sẻ trực tuyến với các bạn từ văn phòng của Glion tại Singapore. Văn phòng tuyển sinh của Glion được đặt tại Singapore, và thầy Mariano sẽ là người chia sẻ với lại quý vị và các em học sinh chiều ngày hôm nay. Song song với phần chia sẻ của thầy Mariano thì tư vấn viên của G Connect cũng đang trực ở trên cái kênh trực tuyến để có thể trả lời những cái băn khoăn, những câu hỏi nào mà các em hoặc quý vị có trong lúc mà thầy Mariano chia sẻ phần chương trình của Học viện Glion. Và thầy Mariano cũng sẽ rất là sẵn lòng để cập nhật những cái thông tin mà Học viện Glion nói riêng cũng như là tập đoàn Summit nói chung đang thực hiện để đảm bảo cái an toàn và việc học tập của các bạn sinh viên ở tại Thụy Sĩ. Sau đây thì chúng tôi sẽ chuyển sang kênh của thầy Mariano. Mariano, could you please start sharing your presentation?
Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mariano De Martino. I'm the regional director at Somat Education, which is an institution that it's overseeing a different institution within the space of hotel management, especially in Switzerland. So we have two important schools with us. One is La Roche and one is Glion. I know at this moment in this presentation we're going to focus more on Glion, which is a top leading institution in hospitality management. And specifically for this session, we'd like to share more about career trends in hospitality and how do we take the next steps. I think it's a very important topic, specifically for our bachelor students and potential master students in Vietnam, because obviously there's a lot of important questions that we need to help you answer. It's most probably taking a study overseas. It's definitely one of the most important decision in your life. So eventually, on one side, we need to consider whether we can go study overseas and what does it mean about going to study overseas. On the other side is where, in which country and in which school would I go study overseas, which school could actually help me with the right skills in order for myself to be successful, in order for my career to be the career of my dreams, the ones that I actually have ever imagined in my life, right? So I think I very much resonate with where you stand right now, because when I was your age, I also had to take the decision. And myself, being Italian from Europe, I actually was very much interested about Asia. So I decided to take my bachelor and my master's in China. I did my last master's. I did it in Shanghai, and I decided to stay there after my graduation. And now it's already 15 years that I'm in Asia, working in Asia between Shanghai, Hong Kong, India, and now I'm based in Singapore. So I do understand that it's an important choice, and I know that my colleagues and my partners from G Connect are there to help you to make the right decision. So we talk about skills, and what we need to be aware of is the fact that skills are changing in a way that the employers require different skills. And we will see very soon in a video how those skills are changing. So obviously, as a school at Glion, we really try to be on top of the trends, and we really try to make sure that we teach the right way with the right experience, so then our students can benefit from this experience and can definitely be happy with what they have chosen. As we say, this is a very important decision. It's one of the most important decisions of life. So it's great that today you're here with us during this session, because we'll definitely spend more time talking about this, talking about Glion. So hopefully Glion can become one of, or maybe is already for some of you, one of the strongest option for your career choices, for your study choices. In fact, what's interesting, I like to bring always some data into the conversation. What's interesting is that usually 20% of the students which are currently enrolled at university, they say that they would have chosen a different course. They have not made the right decision, maybe because they follow their friends, or maybe because they were not sure of what they wanted. So eventually, and on top of that, 18% of the students, they kind of regretted the choice of degree. So obviously, we're here to make sure that we avoid this situation. We're here to make sure that you're actually very fully aware of what are the opportunities, specifically if you're interested in studying in Switzerland, if you're interested in studying hospitality management, and definitely I can guarantee you, and I can show you later on how Glion can be a very, very interesting choice for you. I like to share a video. So Mr. Tang, if you can help me with the video. It's a video. It talks about a student journey since the beginning. He was trying to understand what school to choose and what career to do, and eventually he ended up with Glion. And I'll let you follow the video so you can also understand what was in his mind and how he experienced this opportunity.
Okay, so we're gonna show the video for a student.
And I'm a graduate of Glion. A few years back, I got some great advice that changed my life. Like you, I was wondering about what career I wanted and about where I should study. Not easy, right? I love business and thought about studying economics and social affairs. But my relatives, knowing I'm also a people person, suggested hospitality management. To cut a long story short, I considered several schools in France and Switzerland and went on several open days. I chose Glion because of the family atmosphere, the academic program, the job opportunities, and that amazing view on the Lake Geneva. It was the right decision. Not only did I make friends with people from all over the world, but I learned so much and developed my professional and personal skills. And here's the secret. Glion blends practical learning with business-related classes such as finance, economics, marketing, leadership, and entrepreneurship, helping me acquire all the competencies I need for a successful future career. And then, my 2 internships helped consolidate those skills in a real-world setting. My first internship was in Shanghai, in food and beverage in a large 5-star hotel, where I learned to deal with customers and solve problems. My second internship was in Monaco, in the events department of a well-known palace, where I had to manage my time and deal with multiple tasks as well as high-level responsibilities. The great thing about Glion is that before graduation, international companies visit our campus to recruit students. My friends and I received several job offers from prestigious hotels, private banks, in consulting, events and sports management, or luxury. This is when I realized that hospitality management opens doors to many different careers in many countries all around the world. And as for me, I decided to take up an exciting and challenging offer for a luxury watch company as relationship ambassador, and I love my job. Glion helped me get there and become the person I am today. It opened the right doors and enabled me to develop all the skills from creativity, thinking outside of the box, managing projects, to leadership and delivering excellence to our customers. But back to you and your career choices. If you are curious and passionate, if you like people and travel, and if you want a job that is diverse and fulfilling, Glion will help you achieve your professional goals.
Yep.
Đưa về bên
Yes.
kênh. Yes, thank you. So you can continue.
Okay, great. So, well, I mean, through the video, or it's just a share an opportunity to really understand and what kind of career we're looking at. And actually, when I personally interview students, and yesterday I had a chance to interview quite a few students from Vietnam. Usually, one of my first question is specifically related to, you know, what kind of career would you like to achieve and what is your dream goal. I think it's very important that everybody has their own dreams and their own opportunity to achieve their dreams, right? So the idea is also to understand how can we as a school try to match with your career. So this is another interesting video that I would like to show, which talks about skills. So we have Jack Ma. I'm sure most of you know who Jack Ma is. He's actually the founder of Alibaba and is definitely one of the most successful entrepreneur nowadays. He talks about skills, right? So we start speaking about skills at the very beginning, and we continue about speaking what kind of skills and what skills are very much effective to the day-to-day business. So since the world is changing, we have to adapt, right? So at Glion, we actually have the opportunity to teach different set of skills. As you can see over here, those are just like 10 of the skills that we're looking into it. So first of all, just to be clear, we have to divide the skills between hard skills, which are the skills that you actually learn from the curriculum, and the soft skills, which are skills that you learn from the day-to-day learning. So one of those skills is, for example, problem solving or critical thinking. Critical thinking is about making sure that you actually are aware of the situation that you are, and you actually manage to get a solution, or find a solution actually in the right amount of time as well. Then we have creativity, we have decision making, we have negotiation, we have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is about understanding what other people feel and how they think about certain situations. So to try to be on the same page in order to actually make the right decision together. Then obviously people management. Ideally, one day, and I hope for you guys, you become strong managers in the future. So you have to understand how to manage people, how to motivate them, and that's very, very important skill to achieve. Service orientation is also another important skill, coordinating with others, and the cognitive flexibility. Cognitive flexibility, it's the a way to change concept, to adapt to different concept in a very short amount of time. So how do we help you learn these skills? Is because the way that we teach at Glion is very practical, and it's a school which is also very international. So eventually there is a lot of like learn by doing during the program, and this is something that sharing activities, experience with different groups, with different team members, it will really help you provide and build those skills for you. So let's be very conscious about the fact that those are skills that we need to acquire, and those are skills that are required for you to be successful into the job opportunity, in the job offers. And this is something that at Glion we actually do it pretty well. Now, talking about hospitality management, hospitality industry, this is an industry that is also tremendously changing year by year. This is actually an industry that is evolving year by year. In fact, as you can see from some of the statistics that I'm showing you right now, you'll see that today hospitality industry represents 10.4% of the overall growth world GPA. In 10 years from now, it will be actually 11.7%, which is quite a strong increase in just a very few amount of years. Obviously also that comports on more jobs opportunity. For nearly more than 300 million jobs, actually will switch to more than 400 million jobs, and so on. We can see overall the communities and the world has become more mobile, and obviously there will be a lot more tourist arrivals in the next 10 years. This today where we stand is a very critical and particular situation due to the coronavirus, but this is something that will definitely pass, and this is something that the business and the industry and the growth of hospitality will be there, and this is definitely an industry that is really very strong and very accessible for our students. Obviously the industry, this hospitality industry, students might feel like, well, if I study hospitality industry, it means that I have to go work in an hotel. No, actually not really, because the world, the way we express this hospitality term is actually changing as well. Right now it's talking about more experience industry. So it's not an hospitality industry, it's more like an experience industry. So when we talk about experience, we actually look into so many different industries that all together actually are part of a bigger picture. First of all, why do we talk about experience? At this specific moment, 70% of any buying experience are based on how the consumer feels, how the consumer is actually being treated. It's not really a transactional buying, commercial buying. It's actually more than that. It's actually about the experience. It's about really making sure that the consumer feel comfortable about what you're buying, and they like the experience overall. That's why, for example, if you go in any of those luxury brands shops, it's not just about going to a shop and buy a bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, for example. It's more so having an understanding of what the shop looks like, and they might offer you some cookies and some coffees, and they might let you understand, like what is the quality or the value of this product until you actually make the final decision to buy or not that specific bag. So it's a huge experience behind just the idea of buying that bag. 82% of consumers, they actually stop doing business with companies that they don't give a good experience. So in fact, most of the time, what do we do when we actually want to travel and we are visiting a new hotel that we've never been to it? We actually go, for example, to TripAdvisor, or we go online on Google and we try to find out reviews about that specific hotel. And if there are not great reviews, then obviously we're not very happy to get that specific choice, right? We might definitely change our choices. So the overall experience is very important to deter a consumer behavior on buying that specific good. And this is something that we are very much, at Glion, we are very much aware, and this is something that we are building with our teaching methodology to make sure that our students, they know, they're ready, and they understand, what is the difference. I give you another example. Those you can see on my left and on my right, there are two brands. On one side you see Samsung, on the other side you see Apple. Obviously there is a very different sense of community. They actually sell very similar products. Now, doesn't mean that Apple is more successful than Samsung. It's more so about understanding like what clientele they attract. So obviously in Samsung, if you go to one of their shop, it's a very one-to-one relationship that you build with your customer, and it's a very quiet and cozy environment. If you go to Apple, it's more a sense of a community, right? So according to what kind of customer you are, then obviously you will determine whether you're more like a Samsung customer or you're more like an Apple customer. So then I leave that to you to decide. I'm sure that some of you might have like some Samsung phones and some of you will have like some Apple phones, but this is really a small exercise to understand what does it mean giving customer like a very different kind of experience. And this is something that it's pretty important to define. So talking about this industry, as I mentioned before, is not that studying at hospitality management will only lead you to actually go and work in hotels. There are actually a full range of industries that you could explore, starting from consumer technology, as we just mentioned, the case of Apple, to luxury retail, to entertainment, to finance, to international events, even to sports, to motorsports. For example, I'm sure you heard about the Formula One. It's this great events all over, all over the world, in different countries. And we organize a lot of events during this specific competition. So this is part of the experience that we give to all these travelers that travel to that specific city to attend a specific event. So it's great to see that there is a huge differentiation of what kind of opportunity, what kind of career option you would have. And I just want to give you a glimpse of what those different industry means in terms of also a job title, right? Because eventually, once you graduate, you would like to apply for that specific job. So obviously, if you're looking into the hotel industry, there are jobs available, for example, as a front office or food and beverage or asset management and so far so on. Those are just some example of work that you could do actually in an hotel. If you talk about travel tourism, then obviously you're looking at a completely different range of jobs. Like for example, like there are a lot of cruise entertainment industries, and so you can become a cruise ship manager or a regional tourist manager or a theme park manager. And this is really up to your taste and up to what you like, what it will be interesting for you to work. And obviously, if you get into the culinary art, you can become a celebrity chef, you can become a wine sommelier, and or a baker, artisan baker. And the list goes on, obviously, because when you are in a retail luxury industry, you can become, for example, a brand manager. In those companies, it is very important to build a brand, and not only to build a brand, but actually to sustain the brand as well. Or another industry can be international finance. So as you can see, it's very different than working in hotel if you actually work as a revenue manager in international finance, for example, or sport, and you can be head of travel, sponsor acquisition manager, or media relation manager. So, like there is a lot of spectrum of opportunity. Here, for example, if you look at events right now, I know in Asia, for example, it's very successful to be a wedding planner, also head of events or customer relation manager. And if you are in tech, I think you're looking more like an app developer, market associate. And if you're in entertainment, you look more like a stadium manager, social media manager. So there's so many different work. As we mentioned before, it's an industry that is growing. We're talking about the overall experience. And when we're looking into the experience, we look about so many options that you might have. So obviously, this is a great news for you, because that means that studying in hospitality manager, studying in a school that gives you the tools to understand about the experience management, that will open the door to so many jobs and so many opportunities. And as you will see later in my presentation, we actually have a lot of great example of students not only finding great opportunities in hotels, but also a lot of students find great opportunities elsewhere. At this moment, now that we spoke about the experience, we spoke about the skills, we spoke about obviously what jobs are available, obviously it's important to let you understand what can we offer, right? I spoke about Glion, I spoke about the opportunity that we can definitely build those key soft skills that you will need in the future. And I just want to go a bit more into details of our schools, specifically obviously on Glion, but also to give an idea of what our partners are and where they are located. This is a very important slide that I'm happy to share with you, because this shows the fact that we are extremely international. We have campuses all over Europe as well as Asia. So there are three important brands that I represent. One is Glion, as I just mentioned. And Glion has two campuses, actually three, two in Switzerland. One is in Glion, one is Bull, and one in London, actually very close to, in UK, very close to London. Then we have another school newly acquired, which is called École du Casse. We are in France, in Paris. Actually, this is a school that is sparking a lot of interest, because it's related to culinary, it's related to patisserie, and I can see that also in Vietnam there is quite a strong interest in this specific subject. So obviously later on, if you have any questions, or if you have any other, if you'd like to know more details about the rest of other schools, please connect with myself or with my partners in Vietnam with G-Connect. That will definitely help you understand more about the different opportunities that we have. And then obviously, I'm sure you heard, we also represent La Roche, and La Roche has three different campuses, one in Switzerland, one in China, one in Spain. Why am I mentioning the other two schools altogether? Is because being part of the same network, it gives you the opportunity to travel to different countries as well. So even just as a Glion student, you also, in some of the semesters, and I'll show you later how, but in some of the semesters, you can also spend time in Shanghai or in Spain, for example. So you can have a full wide range of opportunity of studying, learning, and experiencing in a very different very different brands in very different parts of the world. Obviously, one important slide, important data to mention is about the accreditation. Our institution, specifically in Glion, in this context, is actually accredited by the New England Commission of Higher Education. Why it's important? For two reasons. Obviously, this accreditation board also recognize very Ivy League schools in the US, like such as Harvard or MIT or Yale, but it also kind of tell you, your parents, that you're actually making this decision, the quality of the curriculum, the quality of the school. It's very important to have such accreditation because it's sort of like a third party observation of the way we run our schools, and actually they say that we're doing pretty well and they're very happy with the way we teach and also the outcome that we provide, and the fact that our students post-graduation are actually highly happy and they're also good placed in different jobs. In fact, 98% of our Glion students, they do find a job within 3 months after graduation, which is a very great highly statistic. Hence, we're top 3 institution worldwide when it comes to hospitality and leisure management, and we are top 3 institution for employer reputation. This is a QS ranking stat. Which means that we have quite a strong network of employer, which all means on one side, we help our students to find internship during our academic curriculum. In fact, for bachelor, for example, there are 2 internships, one on the 2nd semester, one on the 5th semesters. On the other side, we give opportunity to our students to have the exposure to find great jobs post graduation. So Mr. Ten, I don't know if you like to translate some of this part before I move on to the next slide, which is more related on what they expect from us, and then obviously going into each program specifically.
We received some queries and questions via the message boxes, and our teams are sitting to answer that. I guess more of the translation will come with the Q&As by the time you finish your the PowerPoint.
Perfect.
So please go through the programs, and we'll let you know when we need the translations.
Very good. So if you come at Glion, what do you expect? I think it's important. It's a big investment, both in terms of time and as well as in terms of money that your parents will have to spend into this school, right? I mean, you to go to study in Switzerland. So obviously, there must be a strong expectation from your side too, right? So you definitely will receive a very international environment. We're one of the most international schools in Switzerland. We have more than 100 different nationalities on campus. And this is great because you will be able to learn not only about studying overseas and being dependent, but obviously the Swiss culture, which is the place that you will be living for most of the time. But you also be learning about different culture because you have teammates from all over the world, from Europe, Americas, as well as Asia. You learn about the soft skills, and obviously I describe this already for quite some time, and I want to stress this is very important. Even as simply saying one of the soft skills is about presentation skills, right? So making a good presentation, communicating the right message in the right way, it's also very important. If you have a great idea but you don't know how to communicate, that will be a missed opportunity overall. Obviously, you also learn about practical arts. We make sure that there's a lot of practicality into our teaching. There's a lot of learn by doing experience. And many students so far, I heard, they love the fact that they can be a lot more practical. because eventually just studying from the books, studying from the theory, it might be quite repetitive and you might not actually memorize a lot of things for the future. But if you learn by doing, I think we believe this is a better way to process. There will be internship, as I mentioned, as a bachelor, on your second semester and your fifth semester, you'll have opportunity to actually embark into internship. Great opportunity, exotic place. Don't have to only have internship in Switzerland or back to your own country. You could look into completely worldwide destination. And this is something that as a school, we provide for you. So you don't have to look for internship outside on your own with your own network. You could potentially do that too, but we're a lot more happy to help you with the right internship. Obviously, what is also very critical and very important is that we'll help you teach business management pillars. It's really how to run a business from A to Z. And that's a great combination of hospitality management, because we see that a lot of our students later on, either they go into business subjects, right, business work opportunities, but they also decided to maybe to become entrepreneur, maybe to build their own restaurants, build their own hotel, for example. So those are important skills, such as learning about accounting, marketing, some of the finance theories are very important pillars. They will reflect and will be helpful for your career. And then obviously you will expect a strong employability. Obviously graduating from Glion will definitely resonate good in your curriculum. The curriculum is something that you really start putting together, and obviously that adds on value depending also where you study, which school you study, and obviously the employer, when they hire students, they definitely look into that aspect as well. So those are the expectations that you should have, and this is something that we're definitely happy to provide for you. Some of the facts about Glion, as I mentioned, we have 3 campuses, we have 99 different nationalities, and as you can see, there is quite a good split between students coming from Europe, as well as Asia Pacific, Americas, and Middle East. This split is continuously changing, and we become more and more international as we go. This is actually a very strong action that we are taking ourselves within our company as a Glion, and we are really making sure that we keep a strong balance of different international community, so then there is a lot of opportunity of learning from each other. Talking about the campuses, I'm just sharing you, I'm going through some picture and sharing you how the campus looks like. I hope at some point you also have an opportunity to visit some of our campuses. If not, obviously, we're happy to share some pictures, to do some tour video, but definitely, so this is our Glion campus, where you'll spend the first semester. As you can see, pretty much it looks like a 5-star luxury hotel. It's this very stunning view, and it's really about you feeling not just a student, but almost that you already work in your hotel. So we really want to build that sense of community, that sense of professionalism, and the sense of luxury. In fact, many students, when they actually go to visit our Glion campus, they right away associate Glion to luxury, to anything that is related to luxury. This is our Bull campus. So after the first semester, you will spend a second semester on internship, so outside campus, and then you will come back. When you come back, you will be in our Bull campus, very close to our Glion campus in Montreux. It's just like a small city nearby. It's a very lovely city. It's actually very close to Lausanne. It's close to Geneva. So there is definitely an opportunity to to travel around Switzerland, to mingle. Obviously, once you're on your second year, you're more independent, so you like to have more experience around the country, which is definitely something we provide. It's a very new campus, very high tech, very modern as well, and students so far they really love it. This is our London campus, which is one of our newest acquisition all together with the portfolio. We decided to add London as an important location for Glion. Actually, specifically for postgraduate students, we do see a great trend. We do see that this campus is quite relevant. In fact, because after graduation, students have opportunity to stay there and find work experience as well. So visa-wise, it seems to be quite favorable for our postgraduate students. But definitely, as I mentioned, you can rotate between the different campuses. So if I speak about bachelor program for our bachelor community out there, is a 3.5-year program, a minimum of 17.5 years you need to have, because you must go into the internship on your second semester, and you need to have, you cannot be underage, obviously. And we have 2 semesters, one in February and one in September. So overall, the graph is self-explanatory, where you will see that during your semester 2 you have your internship, and your semester 3 and 4 you have opportunity to rotate within our portfolio of schools. And then again on your semester 5 you have another internship. So it's very well comprehensive when it comes to learn by doing, when it comes to really having a work experience. And then what's also interesting is that in level 7, which at the semester 7, you actually get into your specialization. We have 3 very popular specialization right now. One is in luxury brand management in hospitality. Another one is in international hotel development and finance. And the other specialization is international event management. All of them are extremely successful. They're extremely popular. And it's great to see how from something as more generic on the first years, it gets more and more specialized. And I believe this is definitely something that our students are enjoying a lot, to specialize in their skills and to learn something even more specific. When it comes to the master, we have several masters. I'll go one by one. Definitely the most popular is the Master in International Hospitality Business. All our masters are 1.5 year duration, and the third semester, sort of, as you call, is an opportunity to have an internship as well as a capstone project. So you actually work with a company, a real company, where you will have to solve a real matter. So it's real, and you can put in your CV later on. It looks great. It really feels that you're actually taking action and you're doing something which is very valuable. And this is something that the company, once they will hire you, once they're looking at hiring you, they will definitely look into it. We offer this program in different takes, both February and September. As well as we offer this program both in Switzerland as well as London. So it's up to you to decide which destination you like to have. You can also inter-exchange the 2 destinations as well. Also in this program we have 2 key specializations. One very popular, which is luxury brand management in hospitality, and the other one is in hotel development and finance. The second master degree that I like to bring is to take your attention to is the Master in Luxury Management and Guest Experience. What's interesting about this degree, obviously, has the same structure as the first one, divided in 3 semesters. And the first 2 semesters, what's interesting is that on the first semester you study about luxury business environments, as well as marketing and brand management. On your second semester, you study about luxury experience and innovation, and also strategy. So obviously, as you can see from my slides, there's a lot of subjects that you might want to take into consideration. When you talk about luxury, for example, you talk about ultra luxury travel experience, luxury fashion and design, which is actually very popular. And like on top of that, what is very cool is that we add field trips. So we have a field trips in Paris and Bordeaux, and also a field trip in Milan. During this field trip, you get in touch with the companies or leading industry members. And for example, during our Paris field trip, last year, our students had an opportunity to meet with the boards of Louis Vuitton and have a chat and really understanding how they run a Louis Vuitton business worldwide, what challenges they are facing right now, and how they are overcoming those challenges. So it's a very contemporary, very actual, important discussion to have, which will definitely enrich your skills and will enrich your experience overall. There is the third Master of Science is Master in Hospitality, Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And this master degree is focused on hospitality operation and innovation on one side, and more like on digitalization and go-market strategy, as well as like financial life cycle and funding. So on one side, we'll talk about the operation and how to run those hotels, for example. For example, you have a subject related to hospitality operation, so it's very operational. Food and beverage management and value delivery, for example, is also a very interesting subject. On the other side, we talk about marketing, we talk about data, how do we use this data. There's a lot of like digital transformation right now, and right now when we talk about marketing, we feel like we're not interacting with data, but actually we are. There's a lot of data that goes into marketing, and there's a lot of data exploitation and data analysis to really understand how to drive our next marketing strategy. So we'll try to build this concept, and as well as financial life cycle and funding. This is also interesting because eventually what we see over here is a lot of students that they join this master degree. It's because either they have family business, so they will have to go back to their family business and run their family business. So we have a specific subjects related to family and small businesses, or maybe they have they start their own business as well. The last master degree is the Master of Finance, Real Estate and Hotel Development. Similar concept. On the first semester over here, we have a very in-depth understanding of international hotel development and asset management, and as well as real estate investments. So it's quite a complex master degree, but we see it's fairly niche, but we see there is quite a strong interest from our students, specifically for students that want to take this on board and start maybe their own business and maybe develop their own hotel or their own chains. And then the second semester is about real estate investment, again, as a number two, like the more in-depth knowledge, and the investment strategy and financing. So it's a very quantitative program as well. So for students who are more into data, they're more into financing, this can definitely be a very interesting program to join. So we have seen the 4 different master's degrees all together. They all have exactly the same basics, the same approach. It's a 3 semester, 1.5 years. It's extremely practical. Whenever we have chance, we have these field trips. We have really opportunity for students to interact with our companies, with companies in general, all our companies, sister companies, and all the companies that we have in our database. In order to be qualified for this program, you need to have a minimum age of 21 years old. You obviously need to have a valid, relevant bachelor degree. And for those where English is not the first language, we need an IELTS test with 6.0 with 5.5 in overall component. Obviously, after you submit your application, we will have an interview where we can assess your commitment, we assess your profile in depth, and then we can formalize the results, the feedback, and we can give you whether you get accepted or not to the program. Those masters, I can tell, are very highly competitive. So obviously, the earlier you apply, the better, because otherwise they might run out of capacity. So that could be like an interesting tip that I'm happy to share with you. Graduating at Glion means graduating with experience. Means really about opportunity to join a very strong network. every year on campus, we have more than 200 visits, recruitment visits. So we invite companies to come to our campuses as a great opportunity for students to connect with companies. And this is the first time where students and company get together and they start to understand each other. So hopefully it can be a great opportunity for you to meet your future employer, and that's usually the case. We have an average of 3 internship offers. Obviously, then you decide as a student, you select which internship you like to find, you like to go. And we've been quite successful with our internship because we have a huge network. We have more than 4,000 luxury hotels out there in the world. Some hotels in very exotic places like Maldives or Tahiti or South Africa. And overall, we have produced more than almost like 5,000 internship offers. So they're very strong data, and hopefully those data will make you feel even more comfortable to join our network. As I mentioned before, and I like to stress this data even more, is that 98% of our students, they actually find a job within graduation, pretty much like right after, within the 3 months after graduation. So we're very, very strong on recruiting, and we're very happy because we do understand this is some of your criteria, this is some of your expectation as a student, as a parent. So we're very happy to help as much as we can. Those are examples of jobs and industries in different locations as well. So we go for job offered in finance at Andaz Hotel, which is part of the Hyatt chain in London. We also have had jobs of food and beverage at Hilton in Tahiti. As you can see, it's a very beautiful location to spend like quite a couple of years there. You also have job in sales and marketing in Dubai for Four Seasons Hotel. So those are mainly hotel focused. W Hotel in Chile. We have Ritz-Carlton as job as human resources in Portugal. We also have training jobs in St. Regis at Mauritius. But not only hotels, but we also have retail. As you can see, we have produced jobs as sales assistants in Cartier in New York, in the US, very, very popular location. We also have jobs in events and communication at Hermes in New York, and sales in Hublot in Geneva. Very, very strong watch company, Hublot. Another watch company, Rolex. We have jobs in marketing in Madrid, and communication and sales both in Amber Lounge and Porsche. So as you can see, this is a glance of companies that we have under our portfolio that we really helping students to find jobs. And as you can see, is a very interesting mix between the traditional hotel environment, which, as you can see, we have Four Seasons, we have Mandarin Oriental, we have Shangri-La, we have the Peninsula hotels. But also, like, you can start seeing in the new definition about experience industry rather than more hospitality management, you can see, for example, JP Morgan, where we actually place students in the wealth management department. You can see, for example, Bloomberg, where we have placed students more into the communication sectors as well, or some jewelry company like Bulgari, or clothing even like as Moncler. So it's a very diverse environment. Whenever you have a question, okay, I am happy to go to study overseas. So that's, as we say, that's the first step, going to study overseas. Yes, if I have the opportunity, if I have the financial capability, great choice to go study overseas. It's one of the most tremendous experiences that you're going to have in your life. Number two is that where do I go? And where do I go to study? Which school I go to study is very much connected of what my career looks like, right? And I know some of you at this moment maybe are still uncertain about what career to partake, or what career to take on, and that's totally normal. But I think it's great to join a school that gives you a very wide opportunities or jobs, and also like a school that we can actually help you understand during your process. As of today already, with our partner G-Connect in Vietnam, we can definitely help you calibrate and understand what will be best for you. And also myself here, being in Singapore right now, but definitely have an opportunity to travel in Vietnam very soon. More than happy to connect with most of you and answer any question. So yes, with this, I'm happy to have my presentation. But absolutely, if any questions, I know that Mr. Tan will be happy to answer, and I'll stay in standby if you need any specific question from my side.
Thank you very much, Mariano. Thank you for your time. I'm sure the students and the parents online will have some questions very shortly. But as of, I guess, it concerns most of our clients, students, both offshore and onshore, regarding the COVID-19 outbreak. Would you please tell us, share with us, what kind of actions that Glion and Summit as a whole are doing to support our students for their studies, for their internships, and for the prospective students that are joining the next intake?
Yes, yes, that's a very important question because it's very relevant for today's scenario. First of all, at Glion, we are very much monitoring the situation very closely. It's a situation that it's continuously evolving. First of all, it's our priority is the safetyness of our students. So what we have done in terms of study is that we actually, as of last week, we have shifted all our studies online. We had an opportunity to build those platforms, so students are not required and are not asked to go to attend any classes, because we want to avoid obviously any sort of regroup and opportunity to spread any sort of virus. But the idea is to conduct classes online until it's necessary, making sure that we don't miss out the opportunity of learning, we don't miss out the time as well, because timing is also very important, and we want to make sure that our students proceed as much as they can with the right safety net, the right safety. At this moment, we see some students that they are happy to stay on campus, and because the campus is fully operational. Our kitchen is operational, our gyms, everything is operational, but obviously with a lot of rules to avoid contact. But we also have students that are happy to move back to their own country to spend with their family. I would suggest that to look into all the travel policies with the local governments as well, because there's a bit of a complexity when it comes to quarantine or not. So this is something we really ask the family also to step up and do all the research on their side in local. But obviously, if a student is more happy and more comfortable to be back in Vietnam, for example, we are happy to do so, as long as they keep on studying online, so then they don't miss out classes. And when it comes to internship, it's more complex because we have internship all over the world. The suggestion is to follow what is the local department actually saying in terms of rules and regulations. So every country has their own rules at this moment, and they're always changing as well. But the idea is, yes, we are tremendously looking into making sure that our students are safe, our community is safe, our employees are safe as well, because this is our utmost priority. For students that they are thinking about joining, I know that, for example, yesterday I interviewed some students that are concerned about when they will graduate. Some students, they feel they might or might not be able to graduate in August, and they were planning to attend our classes in September. At this moment, obviously, we're hopeful, we're positive that this virus will fade down in the next couple of weeks, so in a couple of months. So eventually September onwards, we should be absolutely fine and operational. We will be flexible. We will make sure that there will be flexibility when it comes to starting dates, so that even if you graduate slightly later, we can evaluate on a one-to-one basis and see whether you will be able to join our September, because the intent and the commitment is for you to start as soon as possible, if that's what you actually, as a student, that's what you want.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes, so that looks like that, you know, not just Glion and Leros, but all of schools around the world are struggling and doing everything they can to help our student community for the time being. What's your advice for the batch of students that, you know, considering and looking at joining Glion and Leros in Asian Techs?
Well, I mean, I think what we first of all we are looking at open-minded students. We're looking at students that they have never been outside Vietnam, but they have the mentality of meeting new people, mingling with different countries. We really advise students to be open-minded, to not only dedicate their time into the curricular activities, but also the extracurricular activities, because that really brings a lot of flavor into the overall experience. And overall, it is important to build each student network for future jobs opportunities. So if we just stay in our rooms and study, that might not be enough to actually find opportunities for jobs. So we organize, as I say in my presentation, a lot of events. We have a lot of companies on campus. So I would strongly advise students to be active, to be proactive, and to really have the opportunity to take this experience as a whole, because I can guarantee this is going to be one of the best experience, if not the best experience of their life. At least that was for me when I was a student. I really enjoy my independent time and meeting new friends and studying overseas.
Wonderful, thank you for your advice. Most of our questions from students are answered by our counseling team, which is currently here. So I guess that pretty much is from this side. I think I'll let the team to follow up with the current students and parents that we have. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
For the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed for your time, and we look forward to our upcoming events. Hopefully things will get better soon. Hopefully we can do some physical events shortly.
Yep.
And thank you for bearing with us during this tough time, difficult time.
Yeah, absolutely. I thank you for your time and thank you for arranging this event. I hope it was insightful, and I hope we can take some important notes, and we can learn from it. And yes, I'm looking forward to being in Vietnam and be with you guys over there, and and meet some students in person. I think that will be great. So hopefully this situation will cure for everybody, and I wish speedy recovery. And yes, hopefully we'll see very soon.
And thank you, and we're looking forward to our next events. And bye for now.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye, Mariano.